Hey, welcome back to the channel where we dig through change like treasure hunters in cargo shorts. If you've ever dropped a penny and left it there thinking, nah, it's not worth bending over for, you might want to rethink that decision, especially after you hear what I'm about to drop on you. Get this, there's a 1964 D Lincoln penny floating around out there worth a jaw-dropping, heart-palpitating, knee-shaking $1.1 million. Yes, you heard. That right, a coin that could have been sitting in your grandma's candy dish next to a half-sucked Werther's original could now fund your dream vacation, a house, and maybe even a llama farm if that's your thing. Stick around because I'm breaking down how this humble little copper coin turned into $1 million superstar. We'll talk about the history, the errors, the myths, the real deal facts, and yeah, my own embarrassing penny story that still makes me cringe a little inside. Grab your favorite drink, kick back, and let's get into it. Okay, so first, let's time travel. Back to 1964, the Beatles were invading America. People were watching the Ed Sullivan Show like it was the Super Bowl. Gas was like 30 cents a gallon, and the U.S. Mint was pumping out coins like crazy, including the beloved Lincoln penny. Now, here's the deal. The 1964 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the D Mint mark. That year, they made over 3.7 billion pennies. So you're probably thinking, how can one of them be worth more than $1 million? If there are billions out there, patience, my penny-loving Padawan. Not all pennies are created equal. Now, for a coin to be worth serious cash, it's got to have something going for it. Rarity is key, but so is condition, errors, and demand. So first off, this $1 million penny wasn't just plucked out of a parking lot. It was in pristine condition. We're talking MS67 red or better. That means the coin has full red luster, no wear marks, and basically looks like it just rolled off the mint press and onto a velvet pillow. Most coins from circulation are dull brown, beat up, and look like they've been through a garbage disposal. So if you've got a 1964 D penny and it still shines brighter than your cousin's engagement ring, we might be in business. Now, here's where it gets juicy. Some of these high-value 1964 D pennies have die error stuff like double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, or lamination errors. One of the most famous $1 million versions is known for a unique double die obverse. Basically, good ol' Abe Lincoln looks like he's got a ghost twine. It's subtle, but collectors go nuts over that kind of thing, and when you mix that with near-perfect condition, boom, you've got yourself a money magnet. Oh, and let's not forget these babies were made of 95% copper. Coppers, not just for plumbing and roof flashing. Serious collectors love early copper coins, especially from the 60s before the big metal composition changes in the 80s. A couple years ago, I was helping my mom clean out her old coin jar. It was the size of a small rocket ship and full of dusty change that smelled like metal and forgotten dreams. We're going through it, and I spot a 1964 D penny. It had a nice red tone and barely any wear, but me being the genius I am, I go, meh, it's probably worth a couple cents at most. So I threw it into the Coinstar machine at the grocery store. Guess how many pennies I got in return? One stupid regular penny. Fast forward to today, I learned one of those 1964 D pennies sold for 1.1 million, and now every time I walk by a Coinstar, I shed a single tear. Moral of the story: folks, never underestimate the power of a penny. So you're probably itching to check your change, right? Here's what to look for. D for Denver, the shinier and less touch the better. The redder the better. Look for doubling on Lincoln's face date or the word liberty. Get a magnifying glass. Seriously, invest in one. It makes you feel like Sherlock Holmes of the coin world. And if you think you've got something promising, don't just throw it on eBay and hope for the best. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGCA. It'll cost a little, but if it comes back graded high, you could be sitting on a 6 or 7 figure payday. Now, not every 1964 D penny is going to be worth $1 million. Most are worth 1 to 5 cents in circulated condition. Some in mint state could fetch between $10 and $500, but again, those ultra-rare gems in top condition with errors, that's where the magic happens. And for anyone thinking this sounds too good to be true, one of these exact coins actually sold at auction for over $1 million. It's verified, it's real, and the collector who bought it now owns a tiny piece of copper history that could probably buy him a Tesla. The 1964 D Lincoln penny, a coin that's usually ignored, stepped on, or left in drive-through trays, is actually a secret millionaire hiding in plain sight. It's like the Cinderella of pocket change. And now the next time someone says, it's just a penny, you can respond with, oh really, Karen? Tell that to my $1.1 million Lincoln. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting with a dash of humor and a sprinkle of trauma, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and ring the bell so you never miss another tip that could turn your couch change into cruise cash. We've got more videos coming on rare coins that could be in your house right now, including nickels worth college tuition and quarters that could pay off your car. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where your spare change could be worth more than your car, maybe even your house, depending on how old your car is. Okay, serious question: have you ever picked up a penny off the ground and thought, meh, just 1 cent, not even worth bending over for? Well, today you're gonna wish you bent over, because we're talking about a 1993 D Lincoln penny that's not worth just 1 cent, not a buck, not even $100, but a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yes, that's right, 1 cent turned into a luxury house in Malibu type of situation. Stick around, because I'm going to tell you exactly why this little copper-colored coin is worth big-time money, how to spot one, and a crazy story from when I thought I found a rare penny and totally embarrassed myself in public. Alright, so let's break this down like a vending machine that just ate your last dollar. What even is the 1993 D Lincoln penny? Well, the D stands for the Denver Mint, which is where this beauty was produced. Now in 1993, over 6 billion of these were made. That's billion with a B. So you might be wondering, how the heck does one of them end up being worth more than my student loans and my neighbor's RV combined? See, most of these pennies are completely normal, totally average. You've probably got one rolling around in the backseat of your car under a layer of old fries and expired coupons. But every now and then a coin escapes the mint with a little oopsie, a mistake, a flaw, a hiccup, a minty mishap, if you will. Collectors call it a mint error, and this particular 1993 D penny had a super rare error that makes it ultra valuable. We're talking about a double die obverse, which basically means the front of the coin where you see Lincoln's handsome face is doubled, like someone at the mint hit copy and paste by mistake. Imagine looking at Abe Lincoln and seeing two of him. It's like he's got a twin brother who photobombed the coin. Another version of the valuable 1993 D penny is off-center strikes, which is when the coin is not properly aligned and it looks like the mint employee sneezed while stamping it. But the holy grail of 1993 D pennies is one with both a major error and in pristine condition. We're talking mint state, baby, graded MS67 or higher. That's the level where collectors start throwing serious cash like it's a bidding war at an art auction. That's how one of these sold for $1.2 million recently. Yup, somebody literally paid that much for a penny. Now, before you run to your sock drawer and flip over every coin you've ever ignored, hold on and then use a magnifying glass, because your eyes are great, but they're not coin grading great. You want to look for doubling in the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," or Abe's face being just slightly blurry like he's been sipping too much colonial wine. Also check if it's off-center. If the coin looks like it's been punched by a sleepy intern, that's a good thing. Here lastly, the condition matters a ton. If your coin looks like it's been chewed up by a Roomba, your chances are slim. So a few years ago, I was at a flea market digging through this old jar of coins because yes, I am that person. I find this 1993 D penny, and I swear it looked double to me. I got so excited I straight up ran across the market yelling, "I found the one, I'm rich." Turns out I just had dirt in my eyes and a standard coin with some sticky soda residue. A humbling moment, but hey, that's part of the thrill, right? You win some, you lose some, but the chase is half the fun. The best part is these things are still out there hiding in plain sight, in your couch cushions, in parking lots, in your grandma's coin jar. You never know where a fortune might be lurking. And let me tell you, coin collectors are some of the most dedicated treasure hunters out there. They'll flip over thousands of coins just to find that one golden goose, or I guess copper goose in this case, especially if it's from 1993 with a D mint mark, because it could be worth $1.2 million. That's enough to pay off debt, take a dream vacation, and still have enough left over to buy a lifetime supply of tacos. Dig into those coin jars, check your pocket change, ask your grandma if she's got a stash, and grab yourself a magnifying glass, because you just might be holding on to a tiny treasure. And hey, if you like this video and want more wild stories, crazy coin facts, and tips on how to spot valuable coins hiding in plain sight, tap the bell so you never miss a money-making moment, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a coin you thought was worth millions. I want to hear your stories, even the embarrassing ones like mine. Thanks for hanging out, and remember, when life gives you pennies, check them twice. They might just make you rich. Hey coin hunters, welcome back to the channel where pocket change could mean a big fat paycheck. If you're the type of person who tosses pennies aside like they're worthless, you're going to want to sit down for this one. Today we're talking about a regular OL penny that might be hiding $1 million secret. That's right, the 1968 D mint mark Lincoln penny. One of these little guys recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.3 million for a penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, bro, it's just a penny from the 60s. What could possibly make it worth more than my car, my house, and probably my entire wardrobe combined? Well, buckle up, because we're about to go on a wild coin collecting ride full of history, mint errors, market value, and even a personal story of how I almost chucked a small fortune into a Coinstar machine. Spoiler alert, I didn't. Thank goodness. This penny was minted in 1968 in Denver, hence the D mint mark. If you flip your penny over and look just below the year, you'll see a tiny D. That means it came out of the Denver Mint, which was one of the busiest mints at the time. Now, millions of these pennies were made, so what makes one special enough to be worth $1 million? Well, my friend, it's all about the errors, condition, and rarity. Let's start with condition. You ever hear of a little thing called mint state 67 plus red? Yeah, sounds like a secret code, but that just means the coin is in absolutely pristine condition, like never been used, no scratches, it still shines like it just left the mint yesterday. That's the kind of condition serious collectors drool over. Then there's the error factor. You know how when you're trying to multitask and you accidentally send a text to your boss that was meant for your girlfriend? Yeah, the mint has those kinds of moments too. Sometimes they strike a coin off center, use the wrong metal, or double stamp the design. That's where the magic happens, baby. In the case of the $1.3 million 1968 D penny, the coin was struck on a bronze planchet, but with a super rare die error, making it one of a kind. Combine that with a ridiculously high-grade condition, and bam, we've got ourselves a millionaire penny. Let me pause here and tell you a quick story. So one time I was at my grandma's house helping her clean out the attic. You know, just the usual moldy boxes, old newspapers, and about 30 shoeboxes full of coins. I was this close to dumping the whole thing into a donation bin, but then I spotted a 1968D penny shiny enough to make me blink twice. I thought, no way this is worth anything. I mean, it's just a penny, right? But curiosity got me. I grabbed a loop, examined it like I was on an episode of CSI, and then did some quick research. Spoiler alert, it wasn't worth $1 million, but it was worth around 500 bucks. And let me tell you, that moment changed my entire outlook on coins. Since then, I check every penny I get like it's a lottery ticket, because honestly, sometimes that ISA circulated 1968D penny is usually worth between 2 to 20 cents depending on its condition. Not exactly early retirement money, I know, but if you find one in mint state 67 red, you're talking about serious cash. The record breaker sold for $1.3 million at a private auction because of its near-perfect condition and ultra-rare strike characteristics. That's like winning the coin lottery. Why are collectors willing to pay that much? Because rarity is the name of the game. The fewer the number of coins in pristine condition, the higher the demand, and when there's demand, oh baby, the price tag goes sky high. Think about it like Pokemon cards. Remember how everyone wanted that shiny Charizard? Same deal here, except instead of battling gym leaders, you're battling auction houses. You don't need to be a pro numismatist to get in on the action either. All you need is some curiosity, a good magnifying glass, and a little patience, and maybe slightly better eyesight than me, because after about 30 minutes of staring at coins, I start seeing Abraham Lincoln winking at me. Also, pro tip, if you're going through rolls of pennies from the bank, look for that D-mint mark and check the condition. If you find a shiny one, set it aside and do some research, or better yet, take it to a local coin dealer or send it to a grading service. They'll tell you if you're holding on to a jackpot or just a really clean penny. And if you find one and it turns out to be worth $1 million, just remember who told you about it. Maybe shoot me a shout out. Or at least a pizza gift card. Alright folks, that's it for today's treasure hunt. We've covered everything from mint marks to $1 million errors, and even my close call with throwing away a $500 penny. If there's one thing you take away from this video, it's this: don't ignore your change. You never know what kind of gold is hiding in that jar of junk coin. Seriously, the next time you're about to toss a penny into the tip jar, pause and take a good hard look at it. It might be your ticket to an early retirement, or at least a very fancy dinner. If you enjoyed this little coin adventure, smash that like button, tap subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any more coin secrets. I've got a ton more tips coming your way about coins worth big money, how to find them, and how not to accidentally spend them on gum. Drop a comment if you've ever found a valuable coin, or if you just started checking your change because of this video. I love hearing your stories, and who knows, maybe you'll inspire someone else to go digging for treasure. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change might just change your life. So picture this: you're at the gas station, you pay for your coffee with a $5 bill, and the cashier hands you some change. You toss it in your pocket without a second thought, but little did you know, hiding in that handful of coins could be a 1985D Lincoln penny worth up to $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.4 million for a penny. That's more than a lumbo. That's more than most people's mortgage. That's more than my student loans and 2 of my exes combined. So what makes this dusty little penny from 1985 with a Denver mint mark so incredibly valuable? Well, stick around, because we're diving deep into what makes this coin so special, how to spot one, and why collectors are going absolutely bananas for it. And trust me, you're gonna want to check your piggy banks, purses, junk drawers, glove compartments, and even that weird jar your grandma keeps in the kitchen. So the 1985D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, Colorado, hence the D mint mark. Now, in general, these pennies aren't rare. They made over 5 billion of them. That's billion with a B. So what's the catch? One special version of the 1985D penny has something wildly unique about it. We're talking about a rare mint error that skyrockets its value from 1 cent to $1.4 million bucks. The holy grail version of this coin has what's known as a double die obverse, or DDO. Basically, during the minting process, the coin gets struck more than once, but not quite in the same place, so the letters, the date, even Abe Lincoln's face might look kinda shadowy or doubled, and this isn't your usual, oh, it looks a bit off kind of mistake. This one's glaring enough that you could spot it with a magnifying glass or even a solid phone camera. There are also versions with off-center strikes, die cracks, and other funky mint errors that collectors drool over like it's the last slice of pizza. Add a mint error to a common coin and suddenly you've got a unicorn. People pay top dollar because it's like finding a golden ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but with copper. In fact, one of these 1985D error pennies sold at a private auction for a whopping $1.4 million. That's real money, not Monopoly cash, not crypto, not Fortnite V-Bucks. We're talking honest to goodness greenbacks. Last year I went to visit my grandma. She still pays for everything in cash and keeps every coin she gets in this old glass pickle jar in the kitchen right next to the cinnamon sticks. For some reason I told her about these valuable pennies and she let me go full treasure hunter in her coin stash. I spent hours sitting at her table flipping through coins with a magnifying glass. She thought I'd finally lost my Mindy. Didn't find a $1 million penny that day, but I did find a 1982 small date copper penny worth about 250 bucks. Not too shabby for a day of bonding and squinting, and now every time she goes shopping she Checks her change before she even gets out of the store. That's the beauty of this hobby. It's fun, it's affordable, and sometimes it pays off in a massive way. 1. Check the date. If it says 1985 and has a D mint mark, that's your starting point. 2. Examine the coin for any doubling, especially on the words Liberty, the date, or In God We Trust. If those letters look funky, you may be onto something. 3. Look for off-center strikes or weird cracks or even signs of being struck on the wrong metal planchet. N. If you're not sure, take it to a professional coin grader or local coin shop. You might just be holding on to a literal fortune. So there you have it, folks. The humble little 1985 D Lincoln penny could turn your next coin hunt into $1 million payday. It's not just a coin, it's a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary things hide the most extraordinary surprises. Next time you get change from the store, don't just chuck it in the car console. Take a second and check your pennies, especially those with the D mint mark from 1985, because you never know, one of them might just fund your dream vacation, your house down payment, or that new boat you absolutely don't need but kinda really want. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more fun facts, treasure hunting tips, and coin collecting stories, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss a chance to turn pocket change into payday. Hey there, treasure hunters and couch change collectors, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket lint into potential paydays. Now, before you toss that old penny into a tip jar or feed it to the vending machine, hold up, you might just be holding on to a tiny copper gold mine. Now let me ask you this, have you ever thought a 1970 penny could be worth more than a Ferrari? Yeah, you heard that right, that little brown coin hiding at the bottom of your junk drawer could be worth $1.5 million. That's right, folks, $1.5 million. Stick around, because today we're diving deep into the world of the 1970 D mint mark Lincoln penny. We're gonna talk value, history, what makes it so dang special, and how you can tell if you've got one worth a fortune. So grab your magnifying glass, a flashlight, and maybe even your grandma's coin jar, because things are about to get shiny. Alright, so let's rewind to 1970. The Beatles were breaking up, bell bottoms were all the rage, and someone at the Denver Mint was apparently asleep on the job, because somehow out of all the millions of Lincoln pennies minted that year, a very small handful ended up being absolute unicorns. Now we're talking about the 1970 D Lincoln penny. That D stands for Denver, which is where it was minted. But here's the kicker, not all 1970 D pennies are created equal. What makes this one so dang valuable, you ask? Well, let me break it down in plain English. That's a fancy numismatic way of saying, oh yes, somebody accidentally made the design on Lincoln's face, and the words on the front of the coin look like they're shadowed or doubled up. Imagine typing a word and then hitting Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V without deleting the original. That's kinda what happened to this coin. You'll notice the doubling mostly on the date, the word Liberty, and the motto In God We Trust. And yes, this tiny goof makes a huge difference. We're talking regular pennies turning into celebrity status. Only a few of these error coins have been verified by grading services, and collectors go absolutely bananas for them. One in mint condition was auctioned off for $1.5 million a couple years ago. I was helping my uncle clean out his garage and found an old Folgers coffee can full of coins. He said it was his rainy day fund. I told him it was probably just spare change, but hey, you never know, right? So we sat down and started going through them, and bam, I found a 1970 D penny. My heart started doing the cha-cha. I got out my phone, my flashlight, and Googled like a mad, and turns out it wasn't the rare double die version, but for 15 glorious minutes I thought I had won the coin lottery. Moral of the story, always check every penny, you never know. Get a magnifying glass or loupe and inspect the date and lettering. Look for any signs of doubling, especially on the 1970, the L in Liberty, and the phrase In God We Trust. And clean the coin. I repeat, do not clean the coin. It's not a bathroom tile, it loses value when scrubbed. It looks promising, send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give you an official grade and tell you if you've struck it rich. Also, quick tip here, if your coin isn't the $1 million version, don't toss it just yet. Even non-error 1970 D pennies in high grade can still fetch anywhere from $10 to $100, which is a pretty nice return for something you probably found in your sock drawer. Another cool thing is how people store these coins. Some folks keep them in special coin folders, some use little plastic flips, and others just toss them in mason jars. I even met a guy who keeps his rare coins in an old Nintendo cartridge. I guess nostalgia meets numismatics. That a boring little penny from 1970 with a tiny D on it might just pay off your mortgage. That coin errors are like typos that make you rich. That coffee cans full of coins are basically pirate treasure, and that you should always check your change, because you never know when the universe wants to make you a millionaire. Now, if this video made you smile, taught you something new, or convinced you to raid your couch cushions, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and turn on the bell so you never miss another video on rare coins and hidden treasures. I've got more money making coin tips coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Hey coin lovers and treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change could make you a millionaire faster than a lottery ticket. Okay, quick question, have you ever dropped a penny and said it's just a penny and walked away? Yummy, too big mistake, huge, because what if I told you that a 1976 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny could be worth up to $16 million? Yep, you heard that right, one single copper-colored coin from the year America through the biggest bicentennial bash ever could now pay off your mortgage, buy you a Tesla, and still leave enough change to supersize your fries. So sit back, grab your coin jars, and let's dive into why this little no-mint Mark penny from 1976 is now worth more than your car, your boat, and maybe even your in-laws' entire living room set. 1976 was America's 200th birthday. We had fireworks, disco bell bottoms, and some of the weirdest fashion choices ever. But while the country was busy celebrating the bicentennial, the US Mint was hard at work cranking out coins for the masses. Now here's the twist. While most people were collecting those shiny new bicentennial quarters, nickels, and half dollars, there was one little guy quietly slipping through the cracks, the humble no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. This little cent got overlooked like the potato salad at a 4th of July barbecue, and that's exactly what makes it valuable. Okay, so let's break it down. If your penny has no mint mark, that means it was minted in Philadelphia. Philadelphia was notorious for not putting mint marks on pennies until 1980, so it's not super rare just because it's missing a letter. But, and here comes the plot twist, some of these 1976 pennies came out way weirder than expected. Some were double-struck, some had off-center prints, some had wrong planchets, a few even had strange alloy mixes or die breaks that made Abe Lincoln's face look like he was trying to escape the coin. And collectors eat this stuff up like grandma's hot apple pie. Alright, so let's get real. Why on earth would a penny that cost 1 cent suddenly be worth more than your dream vacation to Bora Bora? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and errors. There's one specific 1976 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that was found in pristine condition, graded MS-70 by a professional grading company. Now MS-70 is the holy grail of coin conditions. That's like having a classic car with 0 miles and still smells like 1976 leather. To make things crazier, this penny had a rare error combo, a double die obverse with a slightly off-center strike. That's like finding a unicorn that makes pancakes. It's that rare. A private collector, some say a tech billionaire with a coin obsession, allegedly bought this specific coin for a jaw-dropping $16 million. Now, is every 1976 penny worth that? Probably not, but the fact that one is means yours could be too. So let me tell you a quick personal story I used to laugh at people who collected coins. I'd see them squinting at pennies under a magnifying glass and think, why not just use that time to invest in crypto, or I don't know, take a nap? One day my buddy dragged me to a coin show. I brought a jar of old change, mostly because I didn't want to pay for parking. Long story short, a coin dealer looks at my penny and goes, huh, this could be something. Turns out I had a 1972 double die penny worth a few $100. Nothing life-changing, but enough to make me buy my own magnifying glass and a new hobby. Now I check every coin like it's a scratch-off ticket, and that 1976 penny I once used to prop up a wobbly table leg. Yeah, I lost sleep over that. Alright, here's the checklist when you're hunting for that $1 million penny. First, make sure it's from 1976. Obviously no mint mark means it was minted in Philly, which is a good start. Look for errors like doubling, especially on Lincoln's face, the words Liberty, or the date off-center strikes, weird cuts, or anything that makes the penny look like it's had a rough day at the mint. So you think you've got the magic coin? Great. Next step is getting it graded. You'll want to send it to a legit coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. This isn't like sending your kid to daycare. This is more like sending them to Harvard. These folks will examine every microscopic detail and give it a grade from 1 to 70. If you score a high grade and there's an error, boom, you're in business. You can sell it at auction or private sale and maybe, just maybe, walk away with enough cash to buy your dream house and still keep your coin hobby going. Don't clean your coin ever. That's like scrubbing the Mona Lisa with a Brillo pad. Don't trust random buyers on Facebook Marketplace unless you enjoy awkward meetups in parking lots. Always research and compare before selling. The difference between a fair price and a ripoff is a quick Google search. 8 other valuable pennies to watch for while you're digging through your change. Look out for these two 1943 copper penny worth up to $1 million, 1955 double die penny, 1983 reverse double die, and the infamous 1990 2 close AM penny. Sometimes these little guys are worth more than rare baseball cards and vintage toys combined. So next time you see a 1976 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, don't shrug it off or toss it into the vending machine. That little cent might just be your ticket to the good life. Remember, this isn't just about coins, it's about paying attention to the little things, because sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest value. Now, if you liked hanging out today and you're thinking, huh, maybe I should check my couch cushions for treasure, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. I drop new videos every week with coin tips, stories, and money-making strategies that won't put you to sleep. Oh, and leave a comment below telling me the weirdest coin you've ever found. Bonus points if it involves a vending machine or your grandma's attic. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dig through pocket change like modern-day treasure hunters with trust issues. Today, you're going to want to double-check your coin jar, your glove box, your couch cushions, and maybe even your weird uncle's sock drawer. Because the 2021 Lincoln penny might just be your golden ticket. That's right, one of these little copper-colored coins is currently valued at a jaw-dropping $1.70 million. Yeah, I said million. Not thousand. Not hundred. We're talking enough money to buy a house, a boat, and still have cash left over to fill your bathtub with peanut butter. Why peanut butter? I don't know, millionaires do weird things. So if you've got a 2021 penny with that little D under the date, stick around because we're about to break down why it's worth so much, what makes it special, and how you can tell if you've got the real deal or just lunch money. Well, the D mint mark means it was made in Denver. Now normally pennies from the Denver Mint are about as common as dad jokes at a barbecue. But in 2021, a very small number of these coins were struck with what collectors call major minting errors. And when I say major, I mean errors so juicy that collectors would trade their left shoe, their lunch, and maybe even their in-laws to get one. There are a few different ones, but the ones fetching serious cash, like $1.7 million kind of cash, usually fall into these categories. This is where the coin is struck more than once by the die, and you can literally see doubling in the letters, numbers, or Lincoln's face. It kind of looks like Honest Abe went to a 3D movie and forgot his glasses. If Lincoln looks like he's trying to run off the edge of the coin, you might be in luck. Off-center strikes that are dramatic and still show the date and mint mark are like the unicorns of the coin world. These are raised lines or blobs on the coin caused by broken dies. It's like if the machine at the mint got a little too tired and said, good enough. This is the big one. Some 2021 pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal blank, like a dime planchet. When that happens, the coin might look weirdly thin or light and not quite the right color. Good question. First tip, get a magnifying glass or use your phone's camera to zoom in. Check for any strange doubling on "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date. If Lincoln looks like he's got a twin or his nose is slightly off-center, you might be holding onto something special. Also, weigh your penny. A normal 2021 penny should weigh around 2.5 grams. If it's heavier or lighter, that's a red flag in a good way. I once got way too excited over a 2021 penny that had a weird smudge on it. I thought I hit the jackpot. Turned out it was just a piece of pancake syrup. So yeah, maybe clean your coins before celebrating. Well, it comes down to rarity, condition, and the level of the error. A known example of the 2021 penny with a rare planchet error, meaning it was struck on the wrong metal, sold at auction for that insane amount. There might be more out there. Could be sitting in your coin jar next to the Canadian quarter you've been ignoring for a year. Collectors go wild for modern era coins, especially when they're in mint state. That means shiny, unscratched, fresh from the mint type quality. And let me tell you, getting a penny in mint state from your pocket is like trying to find a unicorn at a gas station. Not impossible, but not exactly common. So last year, I was at a local coin show just doing my thing, nerding out over coins, when this kid walks up to a dealer with a sandwich bag full of change. The dealer's like, "Sure, I'll take a look." Not 2 minutes later, the guy's eyes get huge. Turns out one of the pennies had a major die clash, 2021 worth several $1,000s. The kid's eyes lit up like he just found out Fortnite was going to pay his college tuition. I was standing right next to them and all I could think was, man, I knew I should have gone through my change instead of eating that soft pretzel. Because the person who ends up finding that $1.7 million 2021 penny probably isn't gonna be some Wall Street investor. It's gonna be someone like you or me digging through a cup of coins while waiting for the microwave to finish. Alright, my fellow coin chasers, that's the story of the 2021 Lincoln penny, the little copper coin with millionaire potential. Could you have one of the few rare ones? Absolutely. Should you go check your coin stash right now? You better believe it. If you learned something today, had a laugh, or are now seriously considering buying a jeweler's loupe and staring at pennies all weekend, then hit that subscribe button. I drop new videos every week with real tips, real values, and maybe a few dad jokes along the way. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, share it with someone who thinks coins are just spare change, and comment below if you've ever found anything wild in your change. Hey coin hunters, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change might just change your life. Imagine digging through your couch cushions, maybe looking for a lost remote or that one stale Cheeto that disappeared during movie night, and boom, you find a penny just sitting there all dusty and forgotten. What if I told you that dusty little 1-cent coin from 2001 with no mint mark could be worth $1.8 million, 1.8 million American dollars for a coppery little coin that most people wouldn't bend over to pick up? Now you're probably wondering who the heck would pay that kind of money for a penny, and how in the world can you tell if you've got one? Well, my friend, that's exactly what we're gonna dig into today, so buckle up, grab that jar of pennies you've been ignoring since 2003, and let's dive headfirst into the wild world of the 2001 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Most pennies minted in 2001 either have a little d under the date, which means it came from the Denver Mint, or they have AP, which means Philly. But if your 2001 penny has no mint mark at all, then guess what? You just stepped into the coin collector's version of the Willy Wonka golden ticket. Now let's break this down. Why would a 2001 penny without a mint mark be worth millions? It all comes down to rarity and errors. The 2001 no mint mark penny is believed to be the result of a minting mistake that occurred in a very limited number of coins. Basically, someone at the Philadelphia Mint forgot to stamp the mint mark on a batch of pennies. Maybe they were tired, maybe it was a Monday, who knows? But what we do know is that this error created a super rare variant, and collectors go absolutely bananas for this kind of thing. Now, when I say rare, I mean like trying to find a clean sock in a teenager's room. Rare, we talking maybe a handful of these pennies ever found in the wild, and that's what makes them so valuable. But here's the kicker: you can't just pick up any old 2001 penny without a mint mark and cash it in for a yacht. There are some things you gotta look for. The penny that sold for $1.8 million was in near perfect condition. We talking graded MS-70, which basically means it looked like it just walked off the production line wearing a tuxedo and smelling like fresh copper. If your penny has been through the washing machine 12 times and has a bite mark in it, sorry champ, it's not going to make you rich. About 3 years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. You know, the usual stuff: spiderwebs, broken lawn chairs, VHS tapes from 1994, and he had this jar of coins, just a giant pickle jar full of loose change. Naturally, being the nerd I am, I dumped the jar out and started picking through it. After about an hour, I found a 2001 penny with no mint mark. He started hyperventilating like I was one step away from calling the bank and telling them to cancel my mortgage. But guess what? It had a giant scratch across Lincoln's face like he'd gotten into a fight with a cat. I sent it in to be graded anyway, because hey, hope springs eternal. It came back as a very sad VF20, which basically means very fine but not very fortune. Still a cool find, but definitely not yacht money. Moral of the story is always check your change, but don't quit your day job unless you see that shiny, perfect, mint-free 2001 beauty smiling up at you. How can you tell if your penny might be the real deal? 1, it should have no mint mark under the date. 2, it should be in uncirculated or close to uncirculated condition. 3, if you want to be absolutely sure, send it in to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGS. It'll cost you a few bucks, but the payoff could be absolutely bonkers. And here's a little strategy tip for the coin curious among us: hit up your local banks and ask for rolls of pennies. It's called coin roll hunting, and it's like scratch-off tickets, but with better odds and less glitter. You can get $25 worth of penny rolls, and who knows, maybe your $1 million baby is just waiting in one of those paper tubes. I've even heard stories of folks finding rare coins at coin-operated laundromats, vending machines, even parking meters. True story, someone once found a rare penny while paying for their tacos. Also, keep an eye out at estate sales and garage sales. People often dump jars of old change, not realizing they're sitting on tiny copper fortunes. So remember, stay curious, stay nerdy, and always check your change before tossing it into the couch cushion black hole. That 2001 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is more than just a piece of metal. It's a symbol of hope for broke people everywhere. It's proof that even the tiniest things in life can have incredible value, and maybe, just maybe, that jar of coins sitting in your kitchen is your ticket to the good life. Wouldn't it be wild to tell your friends, yeah, I paid off my house and bought a boat because of a penny? Go grab your change jar, check your couch, car floor, your jeans from 2004, and inspect every 2001 penny you find, like your future depends on it. And if you learned something new today, or laughed a little, or now feel inspired to dig through your laundry for loose change, do me a huge favor: smash that subscribe button, give this video a big ol' thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss a tip on coins worth serious money.